15 love.
Gonna have to be clinical on those finishing shots. Just a quick glimpse into what Tauson can bring on that forehand side. Backhand probably a little more solid. You're going to see more winners coming from Sabalenka's two-hander today. She might need to just drop the guardrails on the two-hand of the Dane.
And when I was watching Sabalenka's first round match against Sloane Stephens, she came out just blistering. And there was a big mental drop off in that first set. Obviously, it's when you have such a lead, she was up a double break at that point. But I still found it shocking that a defending champion, world #1, would have that much of a mental lapse.
15-13.
Whereas opposed to last year, she came out so clinical, just blitzing through the draw, really didn't face much adversity, especially in the first week. And we're not quite seeing that in this tournament, even though she is winning in relatively quick fashion. She's only won in straight sets, hasn't been pushed to a third, but it still hasn't been clean.
And evidence of that in this opening game of what Coco's just saying. Tauson prime for the perfect start.
Game, Tauson.
22-year-old breaks early, settles quickly. Everything, Jill, that you would want.
Yeah, and you know, she looks very calm. When she walked out onto Rod Laver Arena, she already had that calm look about her. And with this first break, the last couple points, she was already fist pumping to herself in a good way, not in, you know, an unusual, like, oh, I just got the break. It doesn't feel like a surprise to her. And to me, the defining factor in this match is going to be the serve. Mark, you mentioned they both have big serves. They're both going to rely on those serves, and they're both aware of that. So for Tauson to get the break right away, I mean, that's a huge start. Just settle those nerves a little bit if there are any, but she looks very calm.
Take that, win predictor.
That was a quick.
That was a quick flip. I will say.
I was surprised by that too, by the way. I thought it'd be a lot closer.
It feels like the win predictor is a bandwagon fan. It doesn't feel like it's standing on its laurels.
Anti-Danish. This is where you feel Sabalenka's going to go to work. This second serve, quite a big delta between the two. Great reply from Tauson on the short one.
15 love.
Sabalenka trying to expose a bit of the movement of Tauson. It's not that she was intentionally trying to use the slice to bring her forward. That was supposed to be a drop shot, but Tauson quick off the mark. That's not something that you would expect. That's something that you would see Tauson maybe flub up her footwork getting up to that ball, but that's a good sign of just settled in this match. But I will also say to Jill's point, I've played on a couple of the main stages out here, and I do think Rod Laver, out of all 4 of the Grand Slams, is the easiest center court to get used to. It's very intimate. The acoustics are great. There's no real crazy depth perception. I think the hardest stadium at the Australian Open is actually Cain Arena to get used to.
Yeah.
15-13.
That's a little battleground that Sabalenka's going to try and win.
She just quickly gets in position, gets out of the way of the ball. That's more of a slice second serve from Tauson. So you got to move to your right as a player, and Sabalenka quick on the mark to get out of the way to find her better, more consistent shot, the backhand.
Just didn't have any great peripheral vision there.
15-14.
Tauson, Sabalenka with anticipation, but it was early anticipation. There was space into the backhand side. And Tauson just looking over at Casper Ellsved, who's sitting courtside, saying that she's struggling a little bit to see the ball out of the sun.
Yeah, the sun is just a little bit further to the right, so it can be in the view of Tauson's toss. This is where some players make that quick adjustment, maybe throw it a little bit further to the left, throw in some more kick serves as first serves, just so you can see that next ball more clearly.
Game, Sabalenka.
Trading breaks early on.
1 game more, first set.
Sabalenka's crew not sitting courtside, a little bit further away. Tauson talking about her opening match and how difficult it was to actually hear her coach and boyfriend from outside, and that's why he's sitting courtside, but obviously not such a big problem for Sabalenka's team. Anton Toprov on the right, Andrei Vasilevsky on the left, with the blonde hair, and in the middle, Jason Stacey, the physio.
It is a little bit breezy down here. I actually just saw a feather from a bird come flying in front of me, and it's showing me that the wind is behind Sabalenka, so she's going to get a little extra pace off the serve from this end as well as off the ground.
Drop that down for you, Jill, because I know it's tricky.
Thank you.
Not the easiest ball to redirect in terms of the height that it arrived at Sabalenka at.
That was a good read by Tauson, just a little bit lost as to where to go when she came forward off of this slice backhand from Sabalenka. She got Sabalenka on the move. This slice backhand here, she ran straight to the middle of the court instead of covering the line. That's why her volley just wasn't able to get any sort of steam on it.
Like that.
13.
That was was an oddly slow first serve from Sabalenka. 149 Ks. As the screen says, that's about 92 miles an hour. Thank goodness we have the data right in front of us, so I actually know how fast that was. It's tough to go to the metric system. Jill, would you ever pick a side, because you did say it was windy, would you ever at the start of the match pick one wing or the other just to get settled into a match?
I think it depended on who I was playing. I mean, normally I return first, Coco. I don't know, 'cause I wasn't really had the strongest serve.
You're pumping in 100 miles an hour. That thing's tricky.
So I kind of was the go-to
With the
return person.
Oh, off balance.
Game.
And that is an erratic end to the third game from Sabalenka. 3 breaks on the bounce in this third round match. Tauson leading 2-1.
Definitely wouldn't have called 3 straight breaks a serve for this match.
You can leave.
It's okay.
You're supposed to be here
almost,
to tell us what's going to happen.
It's almost lunchtime, so I'm happy to go. I'll grab you something, Petch.
Once again, fans streaming in. We had a record yesterday in the day session, over 60,000. It's going to be fascinating to see how many get through the gates today. A couple of come dressed as hedges, I think they'll count.
They're going to be a bit toasty in that.
Yeah, it's going to get warmer.
Who would they be supporting?
Yeah, that's honestly, I don't know. Greenland?
Time.
It's kind of an interesting season for Tauson last year, wasn't it? I mean, she obviously had the breakout at Roland Garros, round of 16 for the first time, but kind of the main success she had sort of came at the 125 level.
Yeah, because like you mentioned at the start of the match, she's been coming back from injury, so the consistency of day in, day out, winning at every tournament, making quarters, making second round just isn't quite there yet. But also, she's young. She's 22, and her game is definitely to be a big hitter. And when you are a big hitter, it definitely isn't your day every day. And I think that's kind of the green aspect in Tauson's game is just, what is my consistent ball looking like?
13.
We've seen even the best big hitters try to figure that out, namely the woman across the net, Sabalenka. There were spells in her early years that she would cough up in the 40 unforced errors in 2 sets, and she just kept going closer to the line, kept going bigger instead of just finding that happy medium.
It's so good. As I say,
14.
the forehand does a lot of heavy lifting for her in terms of clean winners, and the backhand generally solid. Stand and deliver, the sort of tennis that Sabalenka has produced here the last couple of years to lift the title. This is a play that has developed over the years in a number of players' game, adding the drop shot. Everyone is expecting
you to hit so big, so deep that it is available. That one, Sabalenka just read a little bit too easily.
Halt. 40-30.
First double, and yet to see any aces. Good tennis.
Deuce.
Good reflexes. All those doubles matches that Sabalenka has won with mainly Elise Mertens paying off there, and that's something that I think a lot of younger players need to do a bit more. It's certainly something that I enjoyed doing and helped me learn where to be, where to stand, was playing a lot of doubles at the start of my career. It definitely tapered off to more of just the Grand Slams or the 1000s events as I got older and more established in the rankings.
Advantage, Sabalenka.
I didn't think my doubles career was going to go that well because I put poor Jill Krabis in a retirement my first couple doubles matches.
Don't be ridiculous. I actually requested to play with Coco in the last match. We had so much fun at the US Open. I'm still thanking her. You know, I have to say, the beginning of this match obviously has been interesting with the breaks of serve and the pressure on each other's service games, but I like the way Tauson has come out, because normally when you play someone with the power of Sabalenka, in your mind you feel like you're going to be on your back foot, but she already in this match is staying up on the baseline. It's been good to see.
Couldn't agree more with you there, Jill. I think it's something that a lot of these players, especially if you've never practiced with one of the bigger hitters on tour, which Sabalenka is. I remember my first opportunity to play one of the bigger hitters was Maria Sharapova at Wimbledon. And that was honestly the first thought that went through my head. I was expecting such a big ball to come off because that's what you hear, that's what you see on TV when you're watching them. And when I went out there, it just didn't feel that big. And so I was almost on my back foot expecting it, and so I was reaching for a lot of balls, and I was just like, well, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be, so let's get after her.
Game, Sabalenka.
No one able to hold on to their serve yet. Tauson the closest.
2 games sold, first set.
But a nice mental achievement there for Sabalenka, as she's been rocked on the back foot twice already.
Tiger stripes on the shoelaces, matching the tattoo on the arm.
You have that attention to detail?
No, no. And plus I didn't have any tattoos, so, and I still don't, so I had nothing to match it to. I was pretty stale, You know, that's how it would be
I
described.
don't think we're going to let you get away with that, Coco. That's a nice try.
Good job,
but
Mark.
beige vanilla was definitely not 2 words I'm going to use with you, Coco.
Okay, fine. Again, just a really poor miscue from
15.
Tauson. She hit this approach, fights off that forehand, gets that first chip from Sabalenka, but this one, she just goes straight middle of the court at the tee. Sabalenka going to the dead slice. Usually that's going to float line. If Sabalenka can get that ball cross court, then you say too good, but you're seeing her already let go of that double-handed backhand to the one-hander. You got to cover the line. Really put herself into an awkward position.
Fifteen, 13. Fifteen, 14.
Sabalenka just looks completely out of sorts of what to do in these rallies. It's understandable because she hasn't had the advantage in these rallies. She hasn't been playing off of her front foot. She hasn't been dictating consistently. She has at times in spurts, but it hasn't been the whole first set. Oh, such a smart play from Tauson there, throwing up the lob, knowing that Sabalenka was coming forward off of that approach and with a full steam ahead engine. Smart play there.
Take us to break.
Clara Tauson leads 3-2 with a break.
Hoisted it up into the sun, and Sabalenka perhaps hoping it was going to go out, but it dropped well in. It was a nice little reply from Sabalenka, but it's certainly been a difficult start for the world #1 and 2-time defending champion out here, and delighted to say that Jill and Coco predicted that this would be a little bit tighter than the win predictor. Nice to know that humans are still able to come out on top for a couple more years.
I wonder if the win predictor has moved even more now. I gotta see it. I gotta see it.
Time.
Welcome back. We are currently bending the win predictor to our will. Weren't happy with the 9%. We're up at 20%, which is starting to get in kind of the realm that you think of reality for Clara Tauson, given how big her game is, given what we've seen today so far, and the fact that she comes in here alongside Sabalenka with a title, full of confidence, and she's doing a nice job.
Let first. Let second serve. Love 15.
Part of the reason I feel like there's been so many breaks of serve is these two women are similar in the fact that they like to take the ball early, like to take the ball on the rise. And they're not afraid to do that on the return, not only on the second serve, but the first serve as well.
Fault.
Tauson just can't buy a first serve right now, too, only serving at 33%. That also attributes to as many breaks as there's been. See, to me, that's a backhand that just should get back into play. She's trying to flip into being on the offensive too quickly, and it's causing an unforced error. I get it. You're down the scoreline. You want things to change on a dime, but that's definitely, to me, let's get a heavy ball back in play. Make Sabalenka do something special.
Game, Sabalenka.
Can't absorb the pace that comes off Sabalenka's return.
3-game sole, first set.
That was a bit of Tauson just breaking herself. Sabalenka showing a bit of frustration there, a little annoyance, I would more say, of I can't seem to get any momentum going in my direction. Every time I get the break back, I'm expecting myself to hold, but I just can't get the momentum going for me. She needs a Jill Krabus serve right now. Slider wide.
If only I had her serve, Coco. I would definitely take Sabalenka's.
He wouldn't be here with us, I can tell you.
Love 15.
Are we really going to get 7 straight breaks?
I would say no, but now I'm gonna, the win predictor is gonna say yes.
Worked the point beautifully, created some easy space to just coax the ball into.
It's been an odd thing because Tauson's been playing a very different brand of tennis when she is receiving. She's playing the aggressor card. She's playing intelligent tennis, but when she's serving, she's breaking herself essentially. Sabalenka just getting maybe 1-2 balls back in play, and then she is just playing herself out of the point, Tauson.
Love 14.
It is kind of wild that 2 women with some of the finest first serves on the tour are trading breaks like this.
I mean, that return was faster than the serve. That's some big hitting right there.
Well, that's the case.
Game, Tauson.
7 straight breaks. 4 of them have gone to Tauson, and she leads 4-3 against the world #1.
Tauson leads 4-3, first set.
Every day is a different day in this sport, isn't it? They just lace them up, whether they're tiger laces or just normal laces, and you're never quite sure what is going to happen. This is not the playbook that anyone had coming into this one. Chances, yes, to break, but not necessarily the amount and frequency. Little air display earlier today. I don't think that that's still going on. I think that's
I
on
heard it this morning,
yeah,
though.
Yep. Maverick up there.
Red Bull. We have the Blue Angels in the States do a nice show in San Francisco and in San Diego. Fighter jets.
With the Red Arrows over in the UK.
Someone's got to tell us what they have in Australia.
Seven breaks of serve. Clara Tauson, who clocked up 26 aces in that win over Sophia Kenin in Auckland on her way to the title, was a 7-3 love down, saved a match point second set breaker and won in a deciding set breaker in her opening round match. Ended up beating Osaka, who had to retire in the final. And that was the 5th best in terms of quantity of aces in a WTA match. Yet to deliver one so far.
15 love.
It's just been quite shocking to see the win percentage off of first and second serve from Sabalenka. She's sitting only at 20% at both. That's something that is probably never happened in her career.
And that's a number she said out of all the data that's available now, it's a number she said that she consistently pays attention to, is how well she converts off her first and second serve. So you've seen a little frustration from her in that category, and I think, you know, she's definitely going to get that number up.
I completely agree with that assessment from Aryna. That's something that most big servers do look at, especially second serve win percentage.
Jill, where did you look?
They didn't have this data back in the day, Mark.
Thank goodness, thank goodness. I don't know where it would have sat.
15-13.
Kidding, of course, Jill. You were the prototype for longevity, by the way.
Oh, thanks, Mark. I wish I would do my career all over again.
You know, I'm big on legacy with longevity, and you were the first person.
Appreciate that, Mark.
Good delivery, as good as an ace.
I have to say, in this day and age, though, I mean, what's impressive sitting courtside, just being able to see the power coming off of these women's rackets across the board. It's just fantastic to watch, and the movement as well. It's just been impressive.
14-13.
A couple more first serves in play here from Tauson. Still a very low first serve percentage, now sitting at 48%. Finally getting an opportunity to have our first hold of the day.
Game, Tauson.
And the string of first serves does bring up the first hold and pushes Tauson to within one game of this opening set. Well, you do have to battle at times. Of course, the other evening out here, Jodie Burrage up 5-3 in the second set against Coco Gauff. Couldn't quite get across the finishing line in that second set. Will it be different for Tauson?
Love. 13.
Again, the pace not really there, but good accuracy on that first serve.
Yeah, I'm a little confused as to why, if it is a tactic, why she would take pace off of the first serve. It doesn't seem like she's
14.
actively spinning it more, trying to get more of a placement serve that's going to bite one way or the other. It just seems like it's a point starter. And that's just not the mentality that Sabalenka usually goes into a match with.
Game, Sabalenka.
Struggling to hold serve until then. A hold to love, which she will dearly love, but Tauson with the
Tauson
opportunity
leads
to take
5
this
games
opener.
to 4 for set.
5-4, she leads. And Coco, that just gives her a little platform here, doesn't it, ahead of this crucial 10th game. They're called the Roulettes, by the way. The Australian sort of Air Force display team. I know you wanted the answer to that.
I did.
Yeah, I saw you. You were frantically on your phone tapping it in.
That's exactly what I was doing.
I ran into Marcus Baghdadis yesterday, and apparently he's going into one of these planes today, so he might be in there right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Marginally terrified. She looks calm as she strides out for this big moment. Has played a world #1 before, Ash Barty at the US Open a couple of years ago. But this would be a big step forward here for Tauson if she can take this opening set. That's special. Bullet of a forehand.
And these moments are what make Sabalenka world #1. Back against the wall, she's going to give her best tennis to try and get back on serve and back in this first set.
Let first.
Just look at that. Not often that Tauson has achieved what she has in this opening set. Last time it happened that Sabalenka was broken 4 times. San Diego in 2022. Ended up beating Sloane Stephens, who managed that feat.
30-15.
Having faced both of these players, I can really be shocked at that stat. It's been that long, and Sabalenka's serve is that deadly. It's really hard to not only get a couple points on her serve, but to get the break and that many times. That's really shocking.
Closer than perhaps she expected it to be, but it drops in.
30-14.
Yeah, that's poor shot selection, in my opinion. Tauson going to the drop shot. If you want to slice, that's totally fine. She's gotten into a lot of these points and gotten a few unforced errors with that slice backhand, but to fine-tune it like that with the score line, with the pressure mounting, it's asking a bit too much.
Game, Sabalenka.
Well, the bailout drop shot hurt her. And you could feel the nerves from here.
5 games sold. First set.
I don't like the reaction afterwards. That's something that I've noticed more and more in Tauson. Even when I played against her, that was something that I was trying to achieve. I was trying to get her to talk to herself in a negative fashion, to get dejected. And it's not so much that Sabalenka has played phenomenal, so she shouldn't be that dejected. It's just that, oh, the anxiety of being broken is hitting her. And she continues to go to her coach's corner and keeps on berating the point of, yeah, I lost my serve, but hey, we're still in this set. There's still an opportunity. You've broken Sabalenka before. Get back to work.
Problem when you don't get hold of that return from that position is that you're pretty much marooned. And if Sabalenka starts finding the reliability on the ground, this is what's going to unfold every time. From struggling on serve to being perfect. 7 straight points for Sabalenka. Once again, an off-pace delivery from Sabalenka. This time it works out nicely. Couple of holds to love back-to-back for the world number 1. She leads 6-5.
6 games to 5. First set.
And Jill, that's experience at the end of the day for Tauson, wasn't it? The moment just seemed a little bit too big for her.
Yeah, and this is the difference between these matches. I mean, you mentioned the Jody Burrage match against Coco Gauff where Jody was leading 5-3. It's similar circumstances where you just lose a bit of focus, and that makes the biggest difference. That's why these top players are able to come through sometimes in these moments, because they keep that level of intensity and focus. And just watching the ball striking as well, Tauson's ball striking can be just as high as Sabalenka, but in the last couple games it did dip a tad, and that made all the difference right now for Sabalenka in the lead.
Pretty glad you covered that bit of dancing there. I wasn't sure what I was going to say. A little easier to say something about that. Picture perfect once again, Melbourne, as we drift down the Yarra on the left there. All the kind of entertainment this the world's biggest tennis event gives to the fans as they waltz into the Rod Laver Arena. Time to recover for Tauson. As I said, she's with Casper Ellsfeld, her coach boyfriend at the moment. She has worked with some iconic names. Carlos Martinez, of course, who Spaniard that she worked with before. Lars Christiansen, who's back with Holger Rune, who's also back in the 3rd round of the men's draw.
$15.
Nice to see it in its convertible form, isn't it? A couple of inclement days. got herself caught in a bit of a riptide of negativity here, Tauson, and she's going to need some big serves to get herself out of trouble, some quick points.
Yeah, and you wonder if it's just a maturity factor. At 22 years old, do you finally figure out a way to not get so negative, at least not show it? I mean, there's different ways you can go about it.
That'll help.
30-15.
That was much better authority off the ground there from Tauson. That's what we saw at the beginning of the match. Just a little extra pop off the ground now for her. It's about keeping that consistently through the course of this match.
Again,
it's 30-all. You can't be showing that kind of emotion, especially to a world #1 that is just hungry to pounce. I think I pot calling the kettle black up here, but it's definitely something that I had to work on. Of it's okay to show emotion. That's totally fine in my book, but when and how? Because it's only giving Sabalenka more life out here. And that's something that you can't afford when you are the lower ranked player. The underdog is giving a world #1 more reason to want to beat you, or to want to feel like they're still in this set.
Set-saving serve from Tauson.
Advantage, Sabalenka.
Just reaching for that backhand a bit, Tauson. When nerves get into play, and I'm sure she's feeling the pressure serving down in the set, footwork is usually the first thing to go.
Well, if the first set point save was simplicity in itself, the second one was much more complicated. Well done.
I'm impressed at this touch, and even the decision making here on the backhand. Good wheels from Sabalenka, but oof, finest of margins.
Advantage, Sabalenka.
Sabalenka at a tenacious best here. Had to save 3 set points in 3 very different ways.
Interesting watching Tauson there, because as the ball was dropping on this shorter ball, she kind of took her eye off the ball for a moment to look at where Sabalenka was, and then just chose her shot and struck really well through it, just aware of where her opponent is in the court.
This time off the forehand,
Advantage
off a second
Sabalenka.
serve on the deuce. We've seen a number of two-handers hooked down the line. A faded forehand winner for Sabalenka brings up a 4th set point.
Deuce.
Boy, when a first serve has been needed for Tauson, she's delivered it. Every set point she's faced, she's found a first serve.
Advantage Tauson.
Little extra cheer there because the return actually hit the top of Rod Laver, the ceiling. The crowd enjoyed that.
Well, they always enjoy it when there's something that a top player does that's relatable to their tennis.
That's right.
Because most of it isn't. Most of it's exceptional. Tight end to this opening set. Can Tauson take us into a breaker? Oh, Tauson can't believe that's been called in. What do you think, Coco?
It might have been called a little differently if it was a live person, but we play on.
How good is this?
Just take a look at the court position from Tauson
Advantage
inside the
Tauson.
baseline throughout this whole rally, having complete control and then moving forward, swing volley to finish this off. That is something that I'm sure Sabalenka is not used to seeing whatsoever.
Game, Tauson. 6 games sold. First set, tiebreaker.
A mammoth hold of serve. 4 set points saved. A 12th game in the books. And a tiebreaker, perhaps fittingly, to decide this opening set in the end.
One zero, Sabalenka.
And that's just a buzzkill right there, for lack of a better term. You just had, like you said, Petch, a mammoth hold of a service game, and then you don't even get the return in play. Now, I'm not expecting you to win the point, but you gotta make the return. You gotta keep the pressure on Sabalenka.
Especially when it's only 132 Ks.
One all.
That was a very good
2-1,
shot from
Sabalenka.
Sabalenka. I mean, I know Tauson was in a pretty offensive position, but that was a difficult volley. It was right in front of me. It kept dipping very low to the net. Great shot selection and great target from Sabalenka.
Feels like a shot that Sabalenka's worked hard on the practice courts back in the lab.
Boy, that's big hitting.
Sabalenka.
A couple feet behind the baseline, off the back foot. Boy, that almost sounded like a miss-hit
4-1,
serve
Sabalenka.
from Sabalenka. Jill, is Sabalenka on the sunnier side? Is it still in her face?
It's not too bad. It's starting to drift, but it is, I would say it's a little bit brighter. There's not as much cloud coverage, so I think that's maybe why overall she's taking a little bit more off the serve in general from that end.
Sabalenka.
Fascinated to know if it is the sun that is causing her to serve a bit slow. We're going to try and dig into each end to see if it is, or if it's Shane Liège, who's sitting in her box, which is at the back behind Anton Dubrov, as we take a little look at the 4D version of Sabalenka. And he is her data analyst, and I wonder whether he's picked up the Tauson cracks returns when you give her pace, or when you give her the little off-pace one, you've got more chance of setting up well for your +1, because it's definitely something a little bit different at top. There we go. Back right is Shane.
And then her biomechanics coach in the blue, right there, that has helped her with her serve when it was disastrous.
McMillan, I think his name is Gavin.
Yes, Gavin.
Actually worked on her forehand as well, didn't he?
Yeah. And Tauson throwing up 2 tosses and losing it in the sun, so maybe that's the reason.
Red hot from the Dane.
Sabalenka.
A forehand that hauls her back to within 1 point of Sabalenka.
That is not an easy shot outside the doubles alley to take it line, and this pressure of a moment, trying to stay in touching distance in this tiebreaker. Delivery, matching Sabalenka pound for pound, punch for punch. Tauson not giving up any baseline real estate, hanging strong early in this rally. But when she was able to line up these backhands, talk about perfection.
Tauson.
One of the best returns from Tauson so far. Had a lot of pace on it, but smart at 4-all. Such a crucial moment in this tiebreak, just right down the center of the court. Really rushed Sabalenka there with the pace.
A very underrated return. Just dead middle, get the depth, get the pace. Don't do too much. Don't play yourself out of making the return.
Five all.
Another fluctuation in keeping with how the set has gone. Brilliant. Tauson blindsided by the brilliance of Sabalenka's return. And most have been over the last 12 months. And Tauson can expect a quicker serve from this end. About 30 Ks difference between when she was serving with the sun in her eyes compared to this one. Can she find the first ace of this set to put the opener away?
First set, Sabalenka.
Wasn't vintage Sabalenka, but it is a victorious Sabalenka who takes this tiebreaker. What a tussle between these two.
Point. 15 all.
Sabalenka, who's won her last 15 matches here at the Australian Open when she's grabbed the opening set. Last loss coming to Cain back in 2022. Kanepi always had the ability to cause some giant killing exploits at the majors.
15-13.
Got to be careful here, Tauson, that she doesn't hit a bit of a flat spot. Looking over her coach there, perhaps trying to find a little bit of a kick serve. That slider going into the back end on the deuce side for Sabalenka has allowed her to harvest quite a few points straight off the return.
15-14.
I think that was the serve at 5-all that she should have at least tried. She may not have got a free point out of it.
It's, again, hindsight, it's 2020, but I definitely agree. You go into the weaker wing, and it's hard to say that the forehand's the weaker wing, but it's the more inconsistent wing for Sabalenka.
Use.
It's definitely that yin and yang of as a server, and especially as a bigger server. Do I go with what the data says of, okay, Sabalenka produces more unforced errors off the forehand, or do I go with my favorite serve? You know, you always want to back yourself, but sometimes that can hurt you. I remember playing Sabalenka for the first time. It was at Billie Jean King Cup final in Belarus, and Pat Cash, my coach at the time, was very adamant of, you don't play Sabalenka's backhand when the chips are down. Give her the forehand. Make sure you play into it. Don't give her her favorite shot when she needs it the most. Which for me, going into the forehand, especially serving-wise, was my weaker serve. It wasn't my favorite serve, I should more say, especially on the deuce. So it was definitely a give and take of just saying, okay, I'm going to play her weakness instead of my strength. But I was also stubborn and went flat tee when I wanted to.
Do you know what? I'm shocked.
Advantage, Tauson.
You shouldn't be, Petch. You shouldn't be.
Big hold.
Tauson.
Kind of felt as though she was throwing a little bit around the edges there in that opening game, but she has revived her challenge nicely at the start of the second. And actually, at the end of that opening set, I was feeling as though, out of the usual tennis player playbook, somebody would have left the court after over an hour's worth of tennis. It was nice to see them stay. Wasn't the case for Jill, though. You've been taking your lead from the players these days, Jill.
I couldn't hold it. I was struggling. I'm sorry, I'm back though, I'm with you. But I was watching the first game from the sideline, and it's good effort for Tauson to get through that, because she was showing some frustration between first and second serves.
We're happy you're well hydrated.
Yeah,
That's smart down here in the sunshine. We don't want to be getting pickle juice to Jill Krabas on Rod Laver.
Thanks, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm back for the duration, I promise.
She's hitting that serve, and she's getting the one hand off the racket quite consistently here from Tauson out wide on the ad.
Yeah, she's been having a lot of variety, throwing a lot of kick serves as first serves, trying to get Tauson a little bit off balance, just throwing off-speed pitches. And very smart serving. It's something that we don't see a lot of from Sabalenka. Most of the time we see the big flat serve out wide. But these courts are jumping. I think these hard courts are the more lively of the set from the US Open in comparison. I think that especially as it gets warmer, these courts just really take the topspin very well.
Game, Sabalenka. One game more, second set.
I'm interested to see what happens with Tauson. She's getting close to the line, and she's in terms of her serve on time, and in a number of moments in this match where she's just tossed the ball up and caught it when she's about to run out.
Are you saying she's playing the shot clock a bit?
I think it'd be fair to say, but who wouldn't if you're allowed to get away with it? That time was legal. She had a couple of seconds left on the clock.
I agree with you, Petch. I think if you're going to implement the shot clock, no matter if you throw up a bad ball toss or not, you should get it done in the allotted time. Otherwise, if it is the case that, as you think, that Tauson's using it to her advantage to throw up the shot clock as it runs to 7 seconds as she gets to the line, just to give her a little bit more time instead of actually because of the conditions. And yeah, that's gamesmanship. You know, let's call her on it. At the end of the day, this game is a battle of the fittest. And if you're not fit enough to get up to the line and ready to go, then you should be penalized for it. I do think they should have the ball, boys and girls, deliver the towels again. Help save time.
Well, particularly on the big courts.
Yes.
I mean, this is large, but I mean, you get to places like Châteauroux, which are absolutely enormous, and you've got to walk to the tower to go there. Then you kind of have to build that into the shot clock, especially after a 40, 50 shot rally.
Tennis is still a work in progress.
The year's 2040, and you'll be saying that as well.
Tennis might kill me off by that point.
15-14.
I think Tauson's just gesturing to the fact that it's hard for her to see. You know, it's definitely getting brighter, but at this point, you should be used to it. Or if you can't find the ball in the toss, then you got to adjust at this point. Move over a step or two, or change the toss.
30-14.
Second successive service game at the start of the second. She's facing break points. Can she survive again? No, she can't.
Game, Sabalenka.
A cheap error and an expensive mistake as Sabalenka goes up a set and a break.
Sabalenka leads 2 games to 1 second set and by 1 set to none.
Jill, obviously from Aryna's point of view, the fact that she's now won 3 majors, perhaps not such anxiety for her if she's not playing her best. She knows how to build a championship winning run.
Well, that's the area that she's improved in her game so much, is being able to handle her emotions a lot better recently in the last couple years, and that's why she's had that success and has those multiple slams. So it's good to see. You can see it unfolding throughout this match too. In the first set, you know, she's much more in control of her emotions. Tauson, I feel like you can start to see the stress coming out. I mean, like I said before, even between first and second serves, just getting a little bit flustered. And so, you know, that's been a big difference between the two watching courtside.
Little nip outside as you can see Melbourne in the background there. What was it, 500% more shade here at the Melbourne Park this year?
It's going to be needed over the weekend.
Correct. Nice addition. Always innovating and always inspiring here at the Australian Open.
Love 15.
Yep, she's pretty much going to push through to the finishing line based on that particular statistic. And once again, having to move her ball toss and having to drop the pace.
I think Sabalenka's learned that's actually pretty effective, but you have to pick and choose when to throw that kick serve in and the hard serve, because if she can get above the shoulders, Tauson, she's kind of spraying a couple of those long.
Thirty 15.
Tauson's uncle, Michael Tauson, played ranked just outside the world's top 100 in his pro career. It's the only sport that she's ever played, she said. She's probably good, because she says she doesn't like team sports because she's not a team player. Were you a team player, Coco? You seem like somebody that was a team player.
I mean, what a statement. But no, I was absolutely a team player, but I did leave all my other sports behind because I didn't want to be responsible for other people. Oh, Sabalenka absolutely losing that ball in the sun up there. Choosing to let it drop and hit a backhand.
The visual was good, audio even better.
Sabalenka leads 3-1. Second set.
What were the other sports you left behind?
Oh, I played everything. Tennis was the last sport I ever played. My first...
God, just imagine how good you could have been.
Right. I only started playing tennis at 11 years old. So
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, and I dropped all my other sports by 13, and then I went pro at 16. So it was a quick transition.
It's impressive.
But I will say my most unique sport was wrestling. I wanted to wrestle desperately at 8 years old just because my older brother was wrestling. And my mom said, no, you have to do another year of either ballet or tap dancing. And I did not want to. As people who have met me and know my personality, it doesn't quite fit.
Do we have video of that?
I have photos. I have photos in those outfits that my mom still loves to put up everywhere.
When I'm next in the studio with you over in the US, that is going to get on the screen. She's there. Tauson isn't. And soon Tauson will be nowhere to be seen.
Love purple.
This is such a big difference maker for players, and the difference in the ranking between these two is the letdown from Tauson, especially early in the second set, just emotionally, which has translated into her physicality, where Sabalenka has risen in both of those regards.
Fifteen 13. Third trio.
There it is. First ace of the match.
3-30.
Followed up by the second.
Oh, that was brilliant from Sabalenka. The subtlety, Jill, on the slice backhand.
Well, like you said earlier, that's a shot that she's really improved on in her game, is that short slice. But she's not only using it defensively in that case, she's using it in an offensive way as well. But she's just understanding exactly how to hit that shot, where to place it is such a good point. And Tauson actually didn't play a bad point. It was a really good job.
Point. Advantage, Tauson.
Just starting to feel a little fatigue after the exploits in Hobart and getting through to the third round here. Hopefully not. She's still very much in this second set. Just the one break behind. Sabalenka 3-2, second set.
Sabalenka leads 3 games to 2, second set, and by 1 set to none.
Just having a little look around there. I'm not sure if she was looking around to see if anybody was coming out to help her there. I don't know if the physio's been called for that leg or...
I didn't see anything. I didn't see her motion for anything, but I will keep a lookout. If the trainer is coming out, I will let you guys know. But so far, no sign and no indication of any conversation. So keep a lookout.
Tauson's done her part in this second set. Just at times has been sort of circling a little negativity, but the first serve in that last game in particular, pulling her out of trouble. Blue skies above and blue ground below, signifying the Australian Open. Flinders Street just ahead, just to the right. Ahead of Sabalenka, a place in the 4th round once again here in Australia, potentially. Sabalenka's first double.
Close on that volley.
15-13.
Just a bit lackadaisical in this moment. Just taking that one big step, trying to make up for it with a bigger swing. So much about volleying is all done with the legs. Almost a feeling of running through the volley.
But
this is more of a Sabalenka set. She's getting a lot more free points off of her serve, a lot of missed returns. Definitely takes the pressure off of you.
Tauson, who had unlocked the code in the opening set, breaking the Sabalenka serve 4 times. An opportunity to pull up alongside her here at 3 apiece. And perhaps should have been waiting for that serve.
Yeah, Sabalenka has been putting that serve in time and time again. A bit more of a top spin serve into that backhand wing.
She's definitely getting more kick behind it. I mean, I know she's used the kick serve throughout this match, but the last couple have bounced a little bit higher, so she's getting a lot more topspin on the last 2.
Unintentional, but excellent.
You hate to be punished for hitting a good serve, but stick your racket out, see what happens. Again, just not reading it. Usually when a player is trying to get kick or topspin on their serve, the ball toss goes to the left. It's pretty noticeable. Tauson just not seeing it.
Makes the harder of the volley in this game. Wasn't her greatest approach shot. Salvaged it.
Did a much better job using her legs through this volley. Tauson had plenty of time to pick where she wanted to hit the pass. But again, still racket head, using her legs to move through it.
Hasn't once tried to hit that backhand down the line, so Sabalenka can quite contently just hang around in the backhand corner waiting for the ball to come back to her.
Yeah, and it's all just based on recognition from Tauson. She's not able to see the toss and know that it's going to be a kick, even though it is a second serve. Just take a couple steps in already and be reactive.
Sabalenka becoming very consistent, as you can see from the bottom right there, getting through to the round of 16s. No one's made more round of 16s at majors than her and Iga Świątek since 2020.
15 love. Let Fusu. Hold. 15.
Fifth double. And she's only been able, as we know, to offset that with a couple of aces.
Hold.
I actually thought she did a good job of adjusting her feet there, Sabalenka, because those let courts can be a little bit tricky. And I saw her take a couple strokes, but all of a sudden completely reaching at the end and misjudged it at the end of the last moment.
I just think sometimes Sabalenka's swings are a bit too long, which means that she can't catch up to it. Oh, that's a better close there from Tauson.
40-50.
She's not going away yet. She's staying within touching distance, constantly asking the question to Sabalenka of, keep holding serve, but I'll keep testing you. And that's what you want to do as a server is if you're down at an early break, you just don't want to lose a double break. You know, you never know when somebody might get a little bit nervous, might look up at the scoreboard and see that they're serving for the match, or even at the best in the world get tight at odd moments.
Deuce.
Sabalenka searching for that second break of serve in this second set.
Advantage Tauson.
Could prove to be elusive. Never really want to guess as early as that on a ball like that, but Tauson was already in the backhand side. Swept into the space that was developing very quickly by Sabalenka.
She's got the pattern down on this deuce side with the out wide serve to open up the down the line forehand here. And then she has complete control of the rally. But on this ad side, she just hasn't figured out the right serving pattern. I would test the T serves, test the forehand again, see what happens.
Hold.
big hitting and a big hole of serve. Gives herself a slight chance here. 4-3, Sabalenka.
Sabalenka leads 4 games to 3, second set, and by 1 set to 0.
Talked about the strength of Tauson in terms of the serve, number of aces she can produce. Haven't really seen that today. Still feel like, Coco, there's some gains to be made. The back foot, in my opinion, and you can tell me I'm wrong, squares up a little bit too far in front.
I love telling you that you're wrong, but you're absolutely right in that moment. She doesn't, when she pulls that right foot too much to the center hash, that doesn't allow her to get the good load that you need on both the legs. She's mainly using the left leg to get the drive up into the serve. Now, I know a lot of coaches like to be more front on when you're serving, but the best servers in the world show their back for a very long time to their opponent, stay closed off. It also helps with the disguise.
Time.
So I can't tell you you're wrong.
It's a shame. Can Tauson find a way to get back on serve here? Can she get an assist from the sun? Still has bothered both players.
Yeah, already the sun is still very strong, and Sabalenka opting for that more left toss behind her, going for the kick serve, and it's a hard one to get deep into the court. So if Sabalenka can get a short ball, that's where she's been able to attack right away.
Tauson trying to really move inside the baseline for the second serve return. Ended up jamming herself, but I think it's the right play. It's just you can't be moving as you're hitting. You have to get into a solid base.
Thirty 50.
Maybe taking a step in on this serve, even though it's a first serve. If I'm Tauson, she's been getting kicked out wide a bunch here. It's still a slower serve, only at 127 Ks. But Tauson just not able to get a lead on that sort of return. If you're going to get a slow serve from a big server that's just going to spin it in and have it as a point starter, you better make them pay. Again, it's going to be all about presence here for Tauson on this serve. Got to show your opponent that it's not okay to just roll this serve in, to just hit it as a spinny serve. Give them the idea, even if it's a bluff, that you can hit something and put something on the serve.
So nice. Wrestle control of the point off the return and never relinquished it.
She actually waited on that return a little bit more, so it got more into the strike zone, and that's where she was able to accelerate more, get good depth, and get the advantage right from the start.
Advantage, Sabalenka.
That was the plan, and it was perfectly executed.
Wow, that was impressive. First of all, the slice stayed slow, so slow over the net. That's why you got the wow from the crowd, the reaction, and then how much pace was on that backhand was outstanding from Tauson.
Had to hit a winner given where she was in the court. Couldn't get forward quickly enough or back. Exhilarating tennis from Tauson.
Advantage, Tauson.
And again, a great job handling the slice here from Tauson, getting that ball up and down. That is not over the high part of the net too. That's not an easy shot to be able to execute.
Can she capitalize on the opportunity she's carved out for herself? Tauson breathed new life into this contest. Pure sizzle from the Dane net.
4 games sold, second set.
Just overall in that game too, the pace got higher off Tauson's racket. Just did a better job of being willing to go after her shots a bit more, especially on the forehand, really up the pace.
So much about the strategy there, just pure shot-making skill. That's what they've come to see. World #1 getting tested and responding. Sweet 16 for Sabalenka.
Love 15.
Boy, was this a physical point. Both of these players sticking into the backhand wing. Sabalenka intentionally drawing Tauson forward. And we've seen Tauson be very uncomfortable, a bit miscuing on what side to shade, where to cover. And Sabalenka exposing it. I do like that response, a good serve into the body forehand. The forehand has been giving a lot more unforced errors on the return than the backhand wing. Now's a perfect time to keep exposing that.
got it. And just as Jill said courtside that the pace had gone up from Tauson, she delivers another absolute firecracker.
And the confidence has just grown too. I mean, even the way she's moving, the way she moved around that forehand, you can tell the way she was setting up that she's feeling so much better being able to swing through that forehand side.
Look at that. Massive uptick in that last game, as Jill noticed.
Had the line again. See the frustration from Sabalenka.
Not easy to start hitting the ball that much quicker and keeping the unforced error count low.
That's for sure. But there is a good way to go down, and it's to go down swinging or to fight back. Oh, that's just too good from Sabalenka.
And that's where I think that serve just hurts her a little bit, the motion with the back foot coming forward. It's very hard for her to find a pure T serve on the due side. It drifts into the body.
Yeah, she'd have to pronate so hard with that hand to turn her wrist inside out. It takes a lot of strength and dexterity.
Tauson stayed home, and Sabalenka had to dig out something exceptional.
I think Sabalenka can thank Elise Mertens for this dig that she was able to produce. Still in the fight here, pushing Tauson to the utmost limit to stay on serve.
They won the Sunshine Double back in 2019, Indian Wells and Miami. Not something that's easy to do. Australian Open doubles with Mertens 2021. And the US Open back in 2019.
Advantage Tauson.
But Tauson coming up with her best serve down the tee.
Use.
Just a little lack of movement with the feet there. I think it caught Tauson by surprise how short that return was. Just wasn't quite prepared for that one.
Again, a great, smart serving pattern from Tauson, using that out wide serve. Sabalenka smartly just getting it back into play, but it just opens up a very easy target cross court for the backhand. It's all about this ad side. What is the serving pattern? She's gone wide the last few times, trying to get it into the Sabalenka backhand, just missing all the serves.
Use.
Again, a lack of footwork there. Trying to change direction. The legs definitely start to go as this match still progresses. We're almost to the 2-hour mark. It's only getting hotter out here. You don't realize how much energy is expended. Tauson feeling the burn in the legs. Don't tell me that was a serve and volley attempt.
I heard your reaction, Mark. You took a funky bounce off of that lob, but good adjustments from Sabalenka. That's where you really just need to keep your eye on the ball the entire time.
Oh, she almost whiffed it completely. We're watching the replay, Jill, and boy, that couldn't have been framed higher in a racket.
Yes.
And that's a way to save break point.
It's a great serve. I still would say that against Tauson, if you get aced on a break point there, you haven't done your job. You get aced out wide, too good. Calmly done.
Advantage, Tauson.
I couldn't agree with you more, but I still think it's the serve that Tauson needs to hit against Sabalenka is the slider tee. At worst case scenario, go body forehand, but the out wide is just not the play. It's Sabalenka's better return for one, and then two, if she's going to go cross court with a backhand, low part of the net, high percentage shot. She keeps trying to go out wide.
So I actually meant Sabalenka hadn't done her job.
No,
yeah.
Yes, I completely agree with you. But I still think it's the correct serve for Tauson to hit, even if you know it's going there.
Advantage, Tauson.
As a player, you do pick up on those cues as far as just the return patterns of a player. Are they missing a lot more on their forehand versus backhand? Where are they hitting their returns when they are under pressure? And that's something that Tauson just hasn't quite picked up on this ad side.
Yes.
And I think that's something that Sabalenka does so much better than Tauson, especially on her serve, is she knows where her opponents are more likely going to hit their returns. To me, that is a basic return that somebody's going to respond with if you hit a T serve, is taking that forehand into your forehand.
Let Fussell.
The only way they're going to take it inside out into your backhand is if they're jammed, if they're late.
Advantage, Tauson.
Julie, with your big serving mentality, where are you serving this one?
I'd go into the body. I always feel like that serve is a little bit underutilized, especially with how aggressive Sabalenka likes to be.
Great shot from downtown. That is an elongated grunt. How close that comes to hindrance at times.
I'd definitely be giving the chair umpire a look. But I wasn't afraid of being confrontational.
Advantage Sabalenka.
12 minutes of hard work for both women in this game. But is it going to be to no avail for Tauson? Disappointment as Sabalenka poised to go up 5-4 with the break in the second set. Absolutely world class from the world #1. Absorbed the pace and then returned it with interest. And there's the break, 5-4.
Sabalenka leads 5 games to 4, second set, and by 1 set to love.
And on the stroke of a couple of hours, a stroke of real genius there from Sabalenka, Coco.
And this is doing your homework right here. It's covering that forehand cross, knowing that Tauson, when the chips are down, when the score is playing against her, that is where she likes to go. Sabalenka leaning on it, timing it perfectly, and executing.
That was a fantastic effort from Tauson, but maybe just a little cameo in those couple of games. So close to finally advancing past Sabalenka on the scoreboard in this second set, having trailed pretty early on. Wasn't to be. First meeting between these two, and it's been a really, really good contest. Tauson's acquitted herself well in this third round match, but Sabalenka, with a little more experience and at times a little more firepower, has put herself right on the brink of getting into the fourth round once again.
Love 15.
And again, these are one of these little moments. You carved out an opportunity. Have a good look at the ball toss here. See whether you can pick up the little drift to the left for the kicker for Tauson, and don't give Sabalenka that kind of easy path to success on this point.
And that's just great defense from Sabalenka. He almost had like a radio in Tauson's ear, jumping out to return that backhand, getting it cross court. Can't say there's much wrong with that shot, just somebody was able to produce something better, and she's #1 in the world.
Again, good reaction here from Tauson to the adversity of dropping her service game. The most epic game that we've had in this match.
Well, there's been a couple times that Aryna has gotten frustrated. I think the ball just getting to her a little bit, and she has numerous times motioned to herself to just keep going to the ball, getting up to the ball, and that was another instance.
Third to 14.
Right to try and snap off a quick winner in this stage of the set, Coco?
If you make it, you look like a genius. So it's hard to say no, but with the result, I'm going to say go hard cross court. It's tough. She had 2 break points, so you've got to think, oh, okay, if you see it, you feel it, believe in yourself, back yourself, because you'll have another chance if you miss it. Now we're back at deuce and still in the thick of it.
Georgios Frangilis, her boyfriend, at the back, out of his chair. Sabalenka has had to battle hard to get to this stage. Match point.
Let second serve. Game, set match, Sabalenka. By 2 sets to love, 7-6, 6-4.
She finally gets it done in 2 hours and 6 minutes and moves into the 4th round once again here. Sabalenka, first time as the #1 seed at a Grand Slam. She's handling the pressure, the players are coming at her, and she's defeating them one by one.
That match was definitely had its challenges, but Aryna Sabalenka showing why she is #1 in the world. Problem solving to perfection out there, fighting through that first set, going down a couple of breaks, back and forth, fighting through that tiebreaker, and then foot on the gas all throughout that second set.
Jill, the sort of performance that perhaps we wouldn't have seen from Sabalenka a couple of years ago, that is how far she's come.
Yeah, you know, this is one of those matches that I think will only help her because, I mean, Tauson's a very talented player, that she caused a lot of challenges for Sabalenka, and she deserves this round of applause. First of all, it's great to see her healthy and doing well again and being able to perform the way she's performing, because she played a very good match and really pushed Sabalenka to have to lift her level. And yeah, you want these tough matches in the early stages of a Grand Slam. That only makes you that much stronger moving forward.
Still on track to become the first player since Martina Hingis in the 90s to win 3 consecutive Australian Opens. She's made it her home, and she's not inviting too many people into it. They can come, but they leave pretty rapidly. 8-match winning streak in 2025, having picked up the title in Brisbane.
I'm just glad she got that Polaroid to finally work.
Well, she looked pretty good out there. It was a good test. Let's hear what she has to say.
Aryna Aryna, congratulations. You are through to the 4th round here at the Australian Open for the 5th consecutive year. That was a really tough match. How are you feeling?
Well, yeah, that was a great battle. She played an unbelievable tennis. It was really tough to play against her today, and I don't know, I'm just super happy that I was able to just stay in the game. I was able to push myself honestly to the limit and just try my best to put that ball back on that side and try to get this win. And of course, guys, oh my God, what an atmosphere. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you.
Well, I think the crowd really enjoyed the tennis that you both brought. The first set, if we break it down, there were 7 consecutive breaks of serve. How important, now that you've won the match, on reflection, was that first set for you to get that one under your belt?
Well, honestly, I would say that conditions here are really tough to serve. Balls are heavy, quarters, like the center court is pretty slow, so it's heavy conditions, and every time we were playing, making those breaks, it wasn't like disappointment or something. It was just like, okay, come on, just keep pushing, keep trying your best. And yeah, looking back, it was really important to get all of those breaks back. I mean, I don't know, it could go either way, and I don't know, I'm just super happy that I was able to close this match and be in the 4th round. Thank you, guys.
You have so many fans here in Australia. We have loved watching you play. You are absolutely a complete player. I think the one thing that is so impressive with you, Aryna, is your mental strength. If you had to rate your mental strength today and what you were able to produce mentally, how would you rate yourself?
Honestly, I was playing this match and thinking, wow, girl, you're really tough. I mean, I don't know, like so many times I was thinking, okay, I'm done. But I was like keep pushing, but I have to say that, you know, like you guys are helping so much to just stay and to push myself just to keep playing in front of you and enjoy this atmosphere.
Well, you played fantastic. Please give